Caesar, would you like to tell us about yourself?
Yes. So my name is Caesar. I actually been a photographer since about 2019. And what inspired me to get into photography was actually had nothing to do with me already owning my own marketing and branding business. It was more so I needed something therapeutic to do while I was 16 hours away in Florida from Chicago. While I was doing photography and falling in love with it, seeing how it was a great outlet for me to be able to just have something to ground myself, I began to combine it with my marketing and branding business. And when I moved back to Chicago, I began to dive further into the BDSM community, the kink community, and the lifestyle of everything. And that's when I started to see a need for safe photographers. Even overall, even outside of the BDSM and kink community, just a need for safe photographers overall, individuals who want to create an environment that respects everybody that's involved, that understands what the individual needs and want to accomplish so they can fall in love with themselves. So during that time, I started my DTF, which is my dark twisted fetish, with the sole purpose of helping people fall in love with their authentic selves, and whatever goals they may have in mind, whether it's them selling content online or just wanting to have a photo book of themselves to be able to say, I'm the baddest in the room.
Now I know we've had, some personal conversations, and if you don't mind, we'll bring those up because I know that's basically me spilling my own tea, right? If I'm gonna spill the tea, it's gonna be mine. One of the things is I know that I have an issue with being in front of the camera. So I know we had some very in-depth conversation. What are some of the things that you help our models? Because, honey, if you book a photo session with somebody, you are a model. I'm gonna tell you right now. Right. So what are some of those things that you do to help models feel comfortable with the session?
So the very first thing I do, especially within this line of work, is I have them fill out a boundary questionnaire, and I also have them do an interview with myself. Now, the purpose of the boundary questionnaire is because there's kink photography, there's fetish photography, there's several different types of adult photography, and the terminology is often interchangeable, and people don't oftentimes know the exact definition. So with the boundary questionnaire, it allows me to understand what exactly a person is looking to do and accomplish without them having to have the expertise and understanding the key distinctions between all the different types of adult photography. The boundary questionnaire also helps me understand how the individual wants to be spoken to. I have had one client where they're like, don't say none of that nasty stuff to me. Don't even tell me this is hot, even though I'm about to be selling this online. And I have had another client where they're like, hey, I want you to call me a dirty, nasty little slut, help get me in the mood. And understanding that these are two different individuals with the same goal in mind, but wanted to be treated differently. The boundary questionnaire allows me to also cater towards those differences. And then the last thing, it helps me understand the type of visual language that they want to communicate as well. So if they want to be able to show off their more sensual side, if they're trying to empower themselves in those aspects, I know that they're leaning towards a boudoir shoot. But if they tell me, yeah, I'm trying to get my OnlyFans going and I want to make $1 million at the end of the year, then I understand, okay, so we're leaning more towards the erotica, BDSM, and fetish category of things.
Okay. So you threw a lot of terms out there. And one of the things that I love to do is level set the conversation. So it's one of those, talk to me like I'm two. So I know you mentioned kink, you mentioned fetish, you mentioned BDSM. Can you define those categories for us?
Yes. So first off, you have kink. This is the starting of the umbrella, where within kink, it just means that anything that's unconventional, it's not a part of the norm for society. And that's the political definition. I honestly feel there's no such thing as normal in society.
Right.
But within that context, it's about things that's unconventional from the everyday. Mm-hmm. So missionary style, very vanilla. But if you're trying to do doggy style with blindfolds and things of that nature, now you're getting into the more kinkier aspect of stuff. If you're
Or missionary with choking.
Missionary with choking, you know, you're getting into the more kinkier side. Now, underneath that kink umbrella, you have BDSM and you also have fetish. Now, BDSM is all about power dynamics. It's whether you're showcasing your dominance or you're showcasing your submissiveness or showcasing how you want to deliver the dominance or submissive. And within all of this, you don't even have to be naked or nude. You can do all of this clothed. So that's one thing I do want to clear around adult photography, the misconception that it has to be nude or you have to be naked. You can be fully clothed. Your photographer needs to know what they're doing and knowing how to sell the same. In all honesty, a model only job coming on set, especially if they don't do this as a career, your only job is to come here with your smile, willing to be your authentic self and willing to advocate. Everything else is on me and making sure I get your vision completed.
Okay. Does anybody have questions based on that? Who do we have online? Okay, I can't see. Okay. Just me. Okay. Anybody in the audience have any questions so far? Because I'll have 1,000. You have a question in the back?
You're going to have me butcher that up here?
The question was, what does BDSM stand for? Bondage,
dominance. I can never pronounce that M word correctly. Anybody wants to say it for me? Masochist, thank you. I heard a few of us also butcher it. I thank you guys for butchering it with me. Yes. And pseudo, I can't say the S one either.
Sadist,
yes, sadist.
Sadomasochist.
And yes. Within that, you have the sadist and the
masochist.
Those are the individuals who either like to feel pain or like to deal the pain. And that again is showcasing dominance and submissiveness.
I heard some evil laughs coming from the back. I'm scared. I got my cat ears on. Y'all scared me.
And I definitely know how to, I do have my camera settings just right. So if anyone is wanting to do some spank photography, we can get the impact just caught right on the lens.
So I know that the big trends now are like a lot of times in fetish, because they're doing a lot of fetish film and fetish photography. So what are like your top 5 most common fetish photography sessions?
Even though most of my clientele don't even know this is what they're doing for the fetish, it's role play.
Role play?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Costumes, whether they're wanting to come in a nurse's outfit or even cosplaying. Some individuals take the anime and then they take it into a kinkier level of things. It's oftentimes around the role play, people wanting to embody something else that they're in love with or that's a part of them, such as you with your cat ears.
Okay. So I have a question, and I know we have some people that are photographers in the room or aspiring photographers. What kind of method do you use to have your photographer's eye to, move you through your session? So for example, let's say it's like you mentioned, people that do cosplay, a lot of people cosplay superheroes or anime, and, especially women with, exaggerated busts or whatever, so what types of things do you, what methods do you use to figure out what your eye is focusing on for those type of shoots?
So the first thing, that's why the interview is important, what I do with my clientele, because that allows me to also peer into what they enjoy and like. And then from there, honestly, I spend a lot of time educating myself on everything, whether it's me spending hours researching how people are posing. I buy a lot of kink books or posing books where I study a lot of the movement and the visual language. And then constantly practice to the point that it becomes a muscle memory. So even while I'm sitting up here trying to think of a very sophisticated answer to give everybody, honestly, practice make perfect. I shoot all the time to the point that I'm observing what I'm doing and the results and why it happens, and then going out and meeting other photographers and asking for tips and stuff like that as well. Being a big believer in I'm never too old to learn. So
Never too old to learn. Every day is a school day, right?
because even sitting right here now, I'm looking at the lighting setup and I'm gonna watch the video and then
You taking it in?
I'm gonna take notes and stuff on what I like and stuff like that, so I can begin to further develop my eye in those aspects and stuff too.
So when it comes to, like the BDSM scenes and things like that, and you're photographing a BDSM scene, do you have the people just get into the action of, and then you're kind of like a fly on the wall, or do you direct them in different poses?
So it's a little bit of both. So before they actually come to the shoot, I already send them a few pose suggestions so they can start practicing. It's important to practice the poses before the session because all my models end up hating me at the end of the session, but they love the results because they tell me it feels like a workout.
It is.
So by having you practice the poses ahead of time, it allows the individuals to feel more comfortable in their skin, understanding how they're going to move, how they're going to get into the pose, whether or not they can get into the pose, and whether or not they can get out the pose. Because I have some individuals like myself who knees not going to always let you come back up once you go down.
Listen, I know I've done a couple photo shoots where the photographer probably got a little too excited about me. And then they were like, "Oh, Kat, get on the floor. Okay, I want you to sprawl out this way and put your leg over there and put the arm over there." And then I'm holding and I'm looking at them like, "Is this it right here?" And then, now I look confused and frustrated and hurt and mad, and I'm ready to knock all this shit over. So I'm glad that you like kind of send that stuff out ahead of time so you have time to kind of get it in your mind and practice and say, hey, this isn't working, or this, so we don't have to be, one of the things is like you already feel kind of self-conscious when you're behind the camera. And so for the photographer to give you direction and your body is just not going to do it, it kind of make you feel a certain way at that time. So I get it.
Yeah. So, and that's why I definitely send them the poses and stuff ahead of time. And then during the session, before we even get started, we actually do a breathing exercise. So the reason why we do the breathing exercise, because like you said, the tension's there, the individual's all in their head. And I'm going to be honest, I'm also in my head. I've always a big believer when you're nervous, that means you care. And a lot of times I'm nervous. A lot of times I'm a little anxious because I want things to go right. So we both are doing the breathing exercise to be able to ground ourselves, get ourselves out of our head, release some of that tension and feel more comfortable with the atmosphere around us. And then from the breathing exercise, we do a few test shots. The test shots allow the individual to be as awkward as they want to be. We get all the awkward poses out the way. We can even do the peace sign pose.
Oh, the duck lips.
Or the duck lips. And then from there, we start to ease into actual posing and everything. I don't ever want to throw my models right into posing because that's when it gets a little awkward. They're still trying to figure things out. So the breathing exercise to help calm things down because you were probably already dealing with Chicago traffic, knowing people can't drive, trying to get to me. And then you was probably trying to find parking on my overly crowded block. So it's like, let's do some breathing exercises to come back down to zero, ground ourselves, and let's have a little fun, laugh. I make sure that whatever type of music they like, I love it. So if you're into rock and roll, that's what I want to have playing on my speakers. If you want SZA's new album, we're going to put on SZA's new album. Whatever you need to feel comfortable, I cater everything towards the individual. If you tell me you need a pizza puff with mild sauce and fries for the end of the shoot, I'm going to have your pizza puffs and fries with mild sauce at the end of the shoot.
Yes.
You already paying me big bucks. Ain't nothing for me to go get you a little meal.
I know that's right. So building a safe space. You have the questionnaire. You find out what they want to do.
Yes.
You do the interview. to include it with that.
Yes.
The information that you've gathered from the form and the interview, you do this like kind of scene setup. You set up comforts, you set up pleasurable things. So if anything, you can take this into your personal life and other professional settings of how to make yourself comfortable, how to make others comfortable with whatever it is you're about to do. If you're going to do a team project, or if you're going to have a scene, if you're getting ready to role play, you're going to discuss what are the roles, what are we wearing? How tight is it going to be? Are you going to have your breasts hiked to the gods? Like we got to plan this thing. And so it's nothing wrong with asking for boundaries and permission and how far people want to go. Because I believe that when you're in a safe space, you act a lot different than when you're uncomfortable with somebody. So true. For example, if I'm uncomfortable, I might be sitting like this, but then, when I get comfortable, stuff starts,
And that's actually was in, again, like I said, I study a lot, I read a lot. That was in the book I read that talked about body language for photographers, where you can read that on people's faces when they come in and they're sitting more like this and their feet is facing the door. Oh, you're trying to escape me. You're ready to run. And I'm probably going to say something like that. And then they get to laughing like you did. And it's like, no. And of course, a person that's more comfortable is more seated dominant in a sense, feet facing towards the photographer, eye contact. So definitely being able to read those body language is also helpful, because when I see you move like this, right, I will call you out on it. So to see what can I do to help make you comfortable now, because I'm noticing that. And comfort is key in photography, whether you're keeping your clothes on, doing a corporate headshot. The more comfortable you are, the better the picture is going to come out. And again, I want to stress that's on the photographer to make you comfortable, not yourself.
All right. Anybody have any questions in the audience? We're talking about kink and fetish photography. I see a question. Or are you calling? We calling for food?
So for myself to this into kink and fetish, how do you make kink and fetish photography a thing, knowing boundaries, especially those that may not be completely into kink and fetish, apparently myself is. So how do you balance all of that? Especially, I'm sure being a photographer, you deal with a lot of personalities and things of that nature.
So your question was, how do I handle individuals that are new to the lifestyle or never been exposed to the lifestyle that wants to get into adult photography? So pretty much that's why the boundary questionnaire is there. I have a lot of open-ended questions and a lot of multiple choice type questions that pretty much, if you ever done a survey, one of those surveys where they try to give you points to pay for, and how they ask you the same question 4 different ways, that's essentially what my boundary questionnaire is doing. I'm going to ask you the same question 4 different ways because I'm already assuming, and I don't mean this to no offense to anybody, I'm already assuming that you know nothing. So from there, I want you to... Definitely. So, and that's why the questionnaire, it allows you to be able to communicate what you do know, and also I'll be able to assess what may be missing. So then I'm able to communicate it back as well. But there's no pressure in individuals knowing anything about adult photography, fetish, the different key distinctions. If you want to be able to come and have pictures taken of yourself in different aspects and different lights, I'm going to ask all the possible questions, and I'm going to really assess, and then I'm going to also get your feedback on what I assess as well to make sure it is your vision.
We had another question.
Hi there. First of all, love your vibe, love the show. I'm gonna start following you guys on Instagram. My question is, What's been the hardest lesson you've had to learn while working in fetish photography and working with people?
Good intentions
question.
don't mean anything if it upsets somebody else. So again, the reason why I have the boundary questionnaire is because, like I said, I have had a clientele where I told them essentially, these pictures are turning me on. I didn't mean it in that way of literally turning me on. I was just trying to tell them, hey, this is definitely going to get you sales and stuff. It's our good looking pictures. They didn't appreciate that comment. My intentions were pure and it wasn't to be a creep or anything like that, but it upset them. But vice versa, I have also had a client where they're like, I want you to call me a nasty, dirty little slut, or really set the vibe and stuff for me. You can say all that nasty shit to me and I'm here for it. Experiencing that made me definitely understand that everybody's different. I'm only human. I am going to make mistakes. But what I can do is be proactive. I can get ahead of it by asking individuals how they want to be spoken to. I can get ahead of it by understanding people's boundaries so I don't violate their boundaries. I can be more responsible by just being a little bit more proactive. And that was definitely one of the biggest lessons I learned, because from there, it allowed me to make sure I continue to build a safe space for individuals to come and take their pictures.
That was a good question. Okay, so I can't take any more questions because I'm looking at the time. But Caesar, how do people get in contact with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's My Dark Twisted Fetish. The acronym is My DTF. But if you type out completely My Dark Twisted Fetish, Instagram does have me completely shadow banned. So you have to type out the whole thing. And from there, you can definitely follow me, DM me. And if you guys want to, you can also follow my personal page, which has very much just vanilla content on it for the most part, at CHI_King, KING_code, like Chicago's weather.
You have a business card?
I have several. Just come up to me and I definitely pass you a business card.
Okay. So now you see why I say I absolutely love Caesar. We're all about having safe spaces for people to discover themselves, and you can definitely discover yourself in a photography session. So I'm going to wrap it up because I only have like a minute left on here, but Caesar will still be in the building walking around taking pictures. So he's not disappearing in a puff of smoke at 8:30, but I do have to remove myself from this space. I want to thank everybody for giving us this time frame to have Cat Chat here at 50 Shades of Red. Thank you to Project Vita. Thank you to the tech team. My lavender husband over there. I love you. So remember, you can find the Meow University, all one word, on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter X. You can find us on Linktree. You can sign up for our mailing list. Our next classes events, April 10th, we're having a field trip to Exotica Expo. If you're on the south suburbs, Northwest Indiana, definitely come ride the bus with us. We have a lunch included in our little package. And for May 3rd, we have a fellatio masterclass with Angel, the Grapefruit Lady. So definitely, if you have any questions, I'll be floating around here. Once I get in the playroom, I might not be listening, but I just want to thank you for giving me this time. It was nice meeting everybody. And can we give Caesar a round of applause for this beautiful interview?
Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
And so we are right at time. I'm going to be a good girl today.
Good girl.
I got a little praise kink. Oh, yeah. So thank you, everybody that joined online. I'll see you all soon and send out the recording.
Let me ask one question. How do you do it?
What was the question?
You said, how do I, newbies? I take my time and I'm very just conversational with them and understanding and pretty much just patience. I understand that their new is going to be nerves, so I just make sure I provide the patience that's needed. But
Come on over after the show.
Thank you.